Sup, everyone. My name is Ryu for TheCouncilNetwork. Welcome to the Season 4, Episode 22 review of Arrow, Lost in the Flood. And as much as I thought I was going to rip this episode apart, that is not the case. This episode was actually quite enjoyable outside of the comatose that is known as the Felicity overdose. And I know I'm going to sound like an asshole for saying it this way, but please, someone who writes for Arrow and whatnot, kill Donna Smoke-Off, please. Officially the worst character. There's a lot to go over, so we're going to try to cover everything. The action was on par to what I expected from an Arrow episode, but there's certain pieces to this episode that just felt kind of all over the place. And it felt very sloppy. And that's mainly, I think it's because you come off this moment where you're like really high-paced action into a flashback into the real world setting now where you have the hacker group and you have the action group, and it's like, it's too many characters going on screen at once, doing so much stop dark. And I know that sounds so stupid when you think about it, because it's called Arrow, but then we have Team Arrow, because Season 1, Season 2, you had a 3-person team, and now you have like this 8-man team, and it's just getting out of control. I can understand the inclusion of Felicity's dad, but it's kind of one of those things that just feels really overdone. So here's my main problem with this entire episode. There's a lot of things I just want to take Donna Smoke and just start shaking her and say, stop that. You're being an idiot. Like, beyond an idiot. There's one of those moments where she's like, you gotta leave out of Felicity's life. Last time I checked, Felicity's in her 20-somethings, way past 21, probably around 27. And I hear in most places of the world, she can make her own decisions, and you can't tell her father to get out of her life, even though he's a criminal. That's a thing. Secondly, I get that the woman has OCD and does folding clothes when she's stressed, but why did that really need to be there in that second? She could have just been off doing a very I'm pissed off moment because she called him dad to reflect how she was feeling. It didn't need to have this overdrawn scene, again, taking time away from Damien Dark issue number 1. I love Anarchy now because he killed Ruth Ave Adam, and I never liked her. I ain't gonna lie, I never liked her. And that kid's got no mom, but it's okay. It's okay. So let me pull this piece here and let's go over to it. So Felicity can justify her mom not telling her whole life why her father wasn't in her life. Because he made a tough decision, okay? But she can't understand why Oliver did the same exact thing for his son. See, there's the inconsistencies, and why I keep making those Felicity jokes, because seriously, it's inconsistencies that drag it down. Otherwise, this episode would have been perfectly fine, It wouldn't have been the greatest, but it would have been a hell of a lot better. Thea being drugged again by Malcolm. Can we just kill Malcolm? Can we learn not to trust Malcolm? No, we're going to fall flat on our faces, and it's like a Power Rangers episode where you keep doing the same thing over and over again till you learn this is how you deal with them, but apparently not. So, yeah. Neil McDougall, I have not talked about that, as the actor who plays Damien Dark. He's great in every scene. I can't take that away from him. As much as I want to say this season just sucks, which it's true. This season just sucks. It's not because of him. It really isn't. The flashbacks. Let's talk about the flashbacks in this episode. Honestly, I feel like it should have just been one point where the flashbacks happen, not broken up. And I know I'm going to over-exaggerate this. Not broken up into 5 different scenes. It should have just been a little bit more instead of jumping pace to pace. Because you have this moment where everything's going to hell, and then you're jumping into the flashback, and it takes you out of that moment. That adrenaline kind of oh my god, edge of my seat, break to a commercial now, because we want them to come back and go, oh my god, why'd you break for commercial there? And that to me is how it should have been done, but it is what it is. You know, it's just one of those things I'm just like, please, you know, let's stop blowing up the Glades as well. It's a cool thing that they took down Hive that way, of course, you know. And I do have to say this much. Stephen Amell got to fire like more than 3 arrows in this episode. I think this was the one episode with the most arrows shot throughout the entire season. And that in itself is an accomplishment. Because god fucking damn it, when you have a show called Arrow, and you have a character called the Green Arrow, I hear that's one of the selling points to the DC verse is just shooting arrows because it's badass. Thea shot a lot of arrows in this episode. I like that moment she had with him when she was basically drugging. He's like, "You're stronger than this. You fight with me, all the time." And I was like, okay, that's actually pretty damn alright. I'm alright with that. But then you get that toss moment where they toss over Felicity and just so drowned by backward, characters. It should have just been her and Curtis. Curtis is one of most intelligent people in the DCU, the DC universe. And I forgot, I don't know, I think it's Mr. Terrific in the comics, because he's got the T. But he's one of the most brilliant guys throughout the entire, DC verse. And you could have shown off his capability of hacking and everything. And he did have that moment, but it should have just been him and Felicity handling it. Donna Smoke didn't need to be there. Papa Smoke did not need to be there. It was, okay, he's there, he's the calculator. You should have just used him for one episode and sent him on his way. Otherwise than that, it would have been a much better episode, but it was still an okay episode for Season 4. And that's not saying a lot. Short version is, it still feels really, really watered down compared to like Arrow Season 1 and Season 2. It feels like a worse version of last year's Season 3. And Season 3 wasn't that great, and that's how I feel about Season 4. But we'll be talking more about that next week as it ends. So, where's were you going to give it? 6.5 out of 10. Not terribly, not the worst. It was a lot better than last week. But God, those Felicity scenes where everyone's just crowding around her. And it's not just Felicity. She's not the issue. It's when you make the story more about love and then you put Felicity's family all around her. And it's like, it just mixing those two elements together at the same time doesn't work out. 6.5 out of 10. We're not giving it the Flash. We're not giving it the Flash score. It ain't up there. I'm sorry. 6.5 out of 10. Not so sorry. And I will see you guys on the next video as always. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, make sure to hit subscribe for more. We'll see you later. Peace.